Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, my dear students. Today we will discuss regarding the sequential steps in the normal cell proliferation and the role of cell cycle. So what happens in case of a cell cycle? For a normal healthy cell, what happens? There is a binding of a growth factor to its specific receptor. So what happens? There is a transient and limited activation of the growth factor receptor. What it ultimately does? It in turn activates several signal transducing proteins on the inner leaflet of the plasma membrane. So what happens next? There is transmission of a transduced signal across the cytosol to the nucleus via the second messenger system or by a cascade of signal transduction molecules. So after that, there is induction and activation of the nuclear regulatory factors that result in the initiation of the DNA transcription. So the entry and progression of the cell into the cell cycle takes place, and it ultimately results in the cell division. So my dear students, it's a quite controlled and regulated system that is followed for a cell to divide. Here you can see the schematic picture of that. Here the growth factor, it binds to the receptors. What happens? Binding of the growth factor to the receptors results in the change in the inner leaflet of that receptors, and it results in several signal transduction molecules to be activated, and this signal transduction through the cell cytosol results in the activation of the transcription factor in the nucleus, and that results or that signals the cell to divide. Another picture shown to you, the growth factor binds to the growth factor receptor, then it results in the activation, and there is a change in the inner leaflet of that receptor, and certain signal transduction pathways become activated, and activation results in the transcription factor activation, and that activation of the transcription factor ultimately leads to the cell cycle to progress. Here, my dear students, you are shown the cell cycle. There are various phases through which a cell it goes through for a cell division. So the resting phase of the cell is called G0. When the cell enters for the cell cycle, first of all, the first one is the G1 phase, that is the centrosome duplication phase, and while entering from G1 to S, there is a checkpoint, my dear students, that check for the DNA damage. That is called G1S checkpoint. So this is a restriction point there. When the cell is quite healthy and there is no need for the DNA repair, what happens? The cell moves from G1 to S phase, that is chromosome duplication phase. So from here the cell moves to G2 phase, and again a checkpoint there is seen, that is check for the damaged or unduplicated DNA is there. So that is called G2M checkpoint. So before entering into the phase of mitosis, here is a checkpoint that is called G2M. So while passing through that point, if the cell is quite healthy, there is no issues at all, then the cell is passed to the phase of cell division, and ultimately the cell divides into two. So this is the whole phenomena where the cell it must have to pass through the checkpoints for a normal cell division. So as I have told you, my dear students, that it's a quite regulated program. That cell cycle is a quite regulated system. So it contains certain molecules, certain proteins that are involved in the regulation of cell cycle. These are called cyclins and the cyclin dependent kinases. So the ultimate outcome of all growth promoting stimuli is the entry of quiescent cell into the cell cycle. So the orderly progression of cells through the various phases of the cell cycle, it is orchestrated by cyclin dependent kinases, which are activated by binding to the cyclins. So this cyclin dependent kinase cyclin complexes, these phosphorylate the crucial target proteins that drive the cell through the cell cycle. So on completion of this task, the cyclin levels, it decline rapidly and it again inactivate. So for the detailed discussion, my dear students, more than 15 cyclins have been identified that are named as cyclins D, cyclin E, A and B, and they appear sequentially during the cell cycle and they bind to one or more cyclin dependent kinases. So the cell cycle, it may thus be seen as a relay race in which each lap is regulated by a distinct सेट ऑफ साइक्लिंग्स. रिले रेस में क्या होता है, एक रेस एक इसमें पर्सन भागता है, वो दूसरे को वो प्रोवाइड करता है जो उसके पास सामान होता है, और वो फिर दूसरा वहां से उस पॉइंट से आगे भागता है, वो नेक्स्ट को प्रोवाइड करता है, एंड अल्टीमेटली दिस होल रिले रेस इट कंप्लीट्स. सो इन द सेम वे व्हाट हैपेंस, in which each lap is regulated by a distinct set of cyclins, and as one set of cyclins leaves the track, the next set takes over. So just like a relay race, these groups of cyclins and cyclin dependent kinases, they work together in a quite regulated way. So here you are shown these groups, these sets of cyclins and cyclin dependent kinases, where they perform their jobs to put the cell cycle into its regulated pathways, to put the cell through the various paths of the cell cycle. So this is the schematic illustration of the role of cyclins, the cyclin dependent kinases and the cyclin dependent kinase inhibitors in regulating the cell cycle. So my dear students, you are shown these shaded arrows that represent the phases of the cell cycle during which specific cyclin dependent kinases complex, they are active. And as illustrated, the cyclin D, cyclin dependent kinase 4, cyclin D, cyclin dependent kinase 6, and cyclin E and cyclin dependent kinase 2, they are involved in the regulation of G1 to S phase, and so they regulate the G1 to S2 transition phase by phosphorylation of the RB protein. What do? They are involved in the phosphorylation of this retinoblastoma or RB. This protein, RB protein, it becomes phosphorylated. Here you can see. So the cyclin A and cyclin D and cyclin dependent kinase 2 and cyclin A, cyclin dependent kinase 1, they are active in the S phase. Cyclin B and cyclin dependent kinase 1 is essential for G2M transition. So two families of cyclin dependent kinase inhibitors can block the activity of cyclin dependent kinases and progression through the cell cycle. So the so-called INK4 inhibitors that are composed of P16, P15, P18 and 19, So these are cyclin dependent kinase inhibitors. They act on cyclin D, cyclin dependent kinase 4, and cyclin D, cyclin dependent kinase 6. And the other family of 3 other inhibitors, here you can see P21, P27, P57. These are the inhibitors that regulate the inhibition of cyclin dependent kinases when needed. Here again. So my dear students, this is the whole phenomena. This is the whole working system for a cell cycle to move the cell through various phases, ultimately for the cell division. What is the role of retinoblastoma gene and cell cycle? As I have told you, the RB gene, it controls the G1 to S transition of the cell cycle. The active RB, that is hypophosphorylated one, it binds to E2F, preventing the transcription of genes like cyclin E that are needed for DNA replication. So by prevention, it results in the G1 arrest. The growth factor signaling, it leads to cyclin D expression, activation of the cyclin D and cyclin dependent kinase 4 and 6 complexes, and inactivation of retinoblastoma gene by phosphorylation, and thus it releases the E2F takes place. So that RB, when it is activated, it is in the hypophosphorylated form, it results in the arrest, G1 arrest. When it becomes phosphorylated, what happens? It is no more involved in the arrest and activation takes place, and thus there is release of E2F. So loss of cell cycle control is fundamental to malignant transformation. That is, if retinoblastoma is mutated, it is its activation is lost, its working is lost, it results in the loss of that arrest, that G1 arrest, and resulting in the uncontrolled cell cycle proliferation, cell cycle working. So almost all cancers will have disabled the G1 checkpoint by mutation of either RB or genes that affect the RB functions, like cyclin D, cyclin DK4, and cyclin dependent kinase inhibitors. So many oncogenic DNA viruses, they are found, like the human papilloma virus. These encode proteins, they bind to the retinoblastoma gene and they render it non-functional. So by resulting the inactivation of this, or by resulting in the mutation of this retinoblastoma gene controls, it results in the malignant transformation of the cells.